that is fine. If you want to set yourself up in your own authority, that's great too. I mean, it's not that expensive to do. All the faults you find with leasing trucks from a trucking company is bad companies like Prime or CR England. A lot of them are they're just terrible, and they'll lease a truck to anyone of the people, and that's okay. But they're leasing them without they haven't done their background work to see what they're getting into, and then they're kind of just pushed into it. Now the differences in the money aren't that great between be afraid to jump though, because when you don't jump, you're wasting time, and your life is made of time, and when it's gone, it's gone. So jump in, get wet.